Hey love, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is eyeshadow, and this is video number 2 in the Makeup Beginners makeup series. I want to let you all know that I'm not a professional, and the information, tips, and advice, that kind of thing that I'm giving you guys is information I've researched on, that I've learned from QC Makeup Academy, and things I've just learned on my own. If you are interested in learning more about QC Makeup Academy, I will link 2 videos that I've made so far about it down below for you guys. And if you would like to see the other videos that I've made on this makeup series, I will also link those down below for you guys in the description box. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So to begin, you're going to need a few things, and the first thing you'll need is primer. And you can use whatever you have, so you can use cream eyeshadows, you can use concealer, or you can go and buy an actual eyeshadow primer. I know e.l.f. makes one, and I've heard it's really good. I haven't actually tried it myself, but I've heard a lot of good reviews on it. The next things you will need are brushes, and these are pretty important tools to have. You can always use your finger or the little sponge that usually comes with eyeshadow palettes, but I will show you guys the brushes that you need. So first thing, you always need a kind of flat eyeshadow brush. This one's really nice because it's kind of like a thicker brush. It's pretty flat, so you can pack on eyeshadow onto the lid, but it's also wide so that it doesn't take too much effort to apply it. This one came with the Naked 2 palette, and it's a dual-ended brush, so you can use this little side or you can use the larger brush. I really like the larger brush to apply a base shadow all over the lid. The next brush type you will need is a pointed brush, and you can use one like this, which is kind of more of like a concealer brush, and it does kind of taper at the top here. It can be used for concealer, or it can be used for eyeshadow, just to focus it in areas where you want to apply shadow. Or you can use something like this, which is what I'm going to use today, and it's this Real Techniques brush here. This is a base shadow brush, is the name of the brush. But it's pretty fluffy, and as you can see, it kind of just tapers to the top to where it's like a little point here. I really like it because it's really good to focus product just in the crease of your eye, and it also helps to blend it out, so that's why I like this one. And the last thing you will need is a fluffy brush, and this is mainly to blend your eyeshadows. This will be the most useful brush. Like, I would say you don't really even need those brushes if you have a fluffy brush. You can just clean off your brush in between eyeshadows. But if you have one fluffy eyeshadow brush like this, then I think this is good enough. You can even just use this kind of brush if that's all you have. This one is actually a Kirkland brand eyeshadow brush, and I bought it at Costco like years and years ago. So I still have it. It's my favorite brush, and I really recommend going out to buy one. You can even find kits online for like 10 bucks, maybe even less. It's just about finding a good kind of brush, and you really just want a fluffy brush. It helps blend everything into each other. The last thing you will need is eyeshadows. So you can use an eyeshadow palette, or you can use little individual eyeshadows, and a Makeup Geek makes some really good shadows. Also, BH Cosmetics, Coastal Scents have the little individual eyeshadows that you can just purchase, or you can just use what I'm using today, and it's an eyeshadow palette. This one is the Lorac Pro. I like this because it has a nice range and variety of colors. So you have like shimmers here, you have some mattes, like darks, lights. So it's a really nice palette. This is the one I'm going to use today, and I think that is everything. So let's just get on into the whole makeup application part of this. We're starting with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And before you start this, I usually like to wipe off my eyelids. Sometimes they'll have a little excess oil if you have oily lids like I do. And so for that, I just like to wipe them off with like a makeup wipe or makeup remover, either one. And then I like to use my finger to apply this product just because I feel like it's better to warm it up with your finger. And I like to lightly tap it in and just bring it all the way up to the brow bone. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background information really quick. So primer, a lot of people don't know, is really important when applying eyeshadow, because not only does it give you a smooth base or like a smooth canvas to work with, but it also helps your eye makeup to last longer throughout the day. Also, it helps eyeshadows show a lot more vibrant. There are different primers that cater to different skin types, and it's really good to just look for different types. So like if you have sensitive skin, you want to make sure you're getting something that doesn't have any scents or anything that will aggravate the skin. So once you have applied your primer, you want to set it with a bone colored eyeshadow or something that's closer to your skin tone. I'm just gonna go with a bone colored eyeshadow. So the one I'm using here is Cream, and it's this one right here. It's kind of like a peachy kind of shade, and I just like to tap this on the lid, and this just helps to set that cream, just so that when you apply the shadows, they don't stick and make it really hard to blend, because I did that for a while and it was always hard to blend my eyeshadows until I realized I was supposed to set the primer first. Now if you don't have a light colored eyeshadow like this, you can also use like translucent powder, and that works just as well. So now that we have set the first color down, we can move on to the medium shade. And for medium shades, you always want to go with something within the same color range. So like if you use a chocolate brown, you might want to use a lighter brown like a peanut butter or something around there, just because it helps everything blend. So it's not like a super harsh black going into like white. It's just an example. So for this, I'm going to use that shadow, this pointed brush here, and I'm going to take the colored taupe, which is this one right here, and I'm just dipping the very, very tip of the brush. So if you guys can see, it's like the very tip. So then you just want to go in here and just bring it into your crease. If you don't know where your crease is, it's right here. It's where your eyelid kind of just dips back into your eye socket. So you guys can see with mine, it's right here. And you can also like feel around with your brush and feel where like the edge of that bone is. This is your brow bone here. So it's right underneath that is your crease. Also, I wanted to go over with the way that you should hold your brush when applying shadow. You don't want to hold your brush this close. You want to actually hold it from the end, and it helps do a lighter application. And what that does is it gives a nicer transition, so you're not applying too much product and you're not like pushing really hard on the brush either, because you don't want to push too hard on the brush. The skin on your eyes is super sensitive and you need to be really careful with it, so the way you hold the brush makes the biggest difference. So, and for this, I am just applying this eyeshadow kind of like in windshield wiper motions, so back and forth, back and forth. And then when we blend it, you can do little circular motions and it helps to bring it up a little bit. You want to blend it until everything looks super seamless. So you want to make sure everything is nice and really just blend it out. You don't want to see a super harsh line there. So we applied our medium shade. We can go in with either a dark shade, or we can apply another medium shade just to add a little bit more dimension into the eye. I'm going to take a slightly darker shade, and for this I'm using Sable, and it's just this brown shade here, and I'm just going to dip just the tip of my brush in there. And again, we're just applying this into the crease, and you see how I just apply it here in the corner and then drag the color out. When you're applying eyeshadows, you want to start light and then work your way up. So you want to do kind of like layers. And tap off any excess just so you don't have fallout. You can go in again with this brush, and we're taking just the tiniest bit of black. You don't want to use a lot of black unless it's the look you're going for, then you can go all out with the black, but I'm just going to use a little bit here and just concentrate it in this outer corner and just little circles and then drag it out. Now comes the fun part. With the clean fluffy brush, you want to go in and just blend back in with this fluffy brush and take that taupe just really quickly and run it on the outer edge here, and just to make sure everything is nicely blended. Really quick, I want to show you guys a trick. So if you take a little flat eyeshadow brush like this, you can wet it with water or you can use a setting spray. Whatever you have works. I'm going to use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water here. And what you want to do is dip your brush into the eyeshadow you want to use. And I'm going to use a little bit of this champagne right here. And I'm just going to dip into that. Make sure you coat your brush pretty well. Once you've coated your brush, you want to spray the brush on both sides. So 1, 2, and you want to just lightly pat it onto the lid. And you can bring it into the inner corner as well. And then you can either leave it as it is right now, or you can go back in with your brush and apply a little bit more of sable and just darken it up a bit, which is what I'll probably do right now. And the teeniest amount of black. One little thing I like to do is to just take that little end there, and I'll take a little bit of sable and just bring it onto that bottom lash line. Here you can apply a thin little line of liquid liner and apply some falsies, or you can do a full-on wing and some really glamorous falsies. For right now, since this is just the eyeshadow tutorial, this is what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will just be a continuation of this, and I'll just show you how to apply eyeliner. And after that, it will be a separate video on eyebrows. I hope you guys enjoyed this Makeup Beginners eyeshadow tutorial, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye. This darker shade, and I'm just going to